A street photographer is someone who is, to use the French expression, a flâneur. Somebody who likes to be out in the world. They don't want to sit in an office. They don't want to go on reportage to do stories. It's just someone who likes to play in public and see what happens to move me in any given day. Someone's movement through the street and a sudden streak of light comes on their face, or someone brushing their hair in public, or an argument between two people, or love. It's life in general rather than a specific story. And I feel that the tradition of the flâneur is really at the heart of street photography. Someone who appreciates the joys of just being alone. I am a hunter. I don't kill anything. You know, in a sense, I save things. I save moments that show us how human nature is transposed in every generation. People are different. Really, the people of today in 2025 are very different from the people from 1984. Values are different, clothing is different, behavior is different. Even the technology that moves throughout a city is different. So I think recording that, for me, is a high form of consciousness. Each city has its own identity. New York is a city of free movement and momentum. The city is laid out on a grid, long avenues and cross streets. If you want to move quickly, New York doesn't stop you. You can go like that. If you're living in Milan, you're living in London, the streets have a kind of circularity. You can't quite see the future on the street. In New York, you could see the entire length of Manhattan. And I think it's an aspirational city. People come to New York and they think, I can get anywhere fast, I can do anything. So that's given the character to New York. It feels very different, Paris, London, Rome. Well, you know, I think each of them has a vision precisely of their own. I do know that Wim Wenders was influenced by my color work for his film Paris, Texas. The cinematographer Robbie Mueller and Wim Wenders used the kind of coloration that I seem to be sensitive to as part of the context of the story. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm fortunate to know Wim Wenders. We share a lot of things in common. But really, I learned a lot from Federico Fellini. His mastery was to create a mise-en-scène that was very complex, and he would just pass the camera over it so that everything was in there, but you would be hungry for it, and yet it would be gone in a moment. So I learned a lot about instantaneous response through Fellini. So I do owe a lot to Italian sensibility as well as to his films. When I saw Robert Frank work, and I went back and quit my job, and I borrowed a camera from my boss, the head art director. I went out on the street, I went to a camera store, and I said, I need to buy some film. And the man said to me, what do you want, color or black and white? And I said, color, because the world was in color. I had no understanding of what was art and what was not art. But as soon as I started making pictures in color, it felt to me the most natural thing in the world. Only later did I sense that people were wanting black and white because black and white was held as a primary resource for photography. And I thought, it's so strange. An abstraction of reality becomes the representation of reality. And I thought, color is for me. And I tried to make an argument for color by later on photographing in color and black and white at the same time so that I could understand what's the difference. And I could also show people these comparisons so that they could make up their own. And here we are in the 21st century, and color comes with every phone you buy. Well, let's be truthful about this. I wasn't admitted. That's only what we put out there. I saw, as a New Yorker, I wanted to be of some help. But Mayor Giuliani had said, no photography allowed. Boom. And I thought, you can't do that. There is the right of free speech in America, and this is an incredible attack on America, and you're not going to let photographs be made? And I thought, screw you, Mayor Giuliani. I'm going to get in there. And fortunately, I had some friends in the right places, and I was able to go in. And then I met some very smart detectives, and they were able to support me, even though the rest of the police force threw me out every day. These detectives actually made me an honorary policeman. They took me into police headquarters at night, and they had me photographed, fingerprinted, barcoded, and they gave me a genuine NYPD badge that said mayoral photographer. So Giuliani knew nothing about being honest with you. And I spent that year in Ground Zero making the work precisely because those smart detectives supported. You know, every photograph comes from a single moment of consciousness on my part. I see something on the street that moves me from a humanistic perspective, and I say, and then I make a photograph. If people can feel that instantaneous moment of recognition of something that has a consciousness in it, that's what they get. It is not my job to instruct anybody about what to see. I'm just showing what it is that I saw that moved me. And in this exhibition, the pictures are put together in an interesting enough way that people will have, if they're open-minded, they'll have a response and they'll maybe discover something about life here. And they'll see something else about life here, and they'll make a union of it. It's as if these are points along a way. It's up to the individual to discover for themselves any kind of meaning. I can't direct anybody.